Good morning. I'm Ruth Reinhardt, and welcome to another episode of Conversations Off the Couch. Conversations where I chat to people who are making a difference in the world or just doing things differently. This morning, I'm really blessed to have with me the indomitable Kim Guthrie, who's the founder and CEO of Working on Wellness. And we're going to be talking everything Hashimoto leading up to that diagnosis and how she can help, or what her journey was. So I'm sure to be able to help you. Kim, welcome.
Thank you, Ruth. It's wonderful to be here. I really appreciate it. It's great.
Oh, it's great. And I don't think the weather knows what it's doing here in Brisbane, because you're located in Brisbane as well. But, 1 minute it's sunny and then it looked like it was going to rain. So I appreciate your time this morning. I know how busy you are. Kim, I had not even heard of the word Hashimoto's till about probably 25 years ago, when my boss at the time got diagnosed. Now, there was no way I was going to ask him what that meant. But for some reason, I have it it's like the hunchback of Notre Dame. I don't know what it is. It's just something that sends me off into a totally different spiel. And I think, and it wasn't until I got chatting with you and you told me you'd been diagnosed with Hashimoto. So I want to find out everything that I can find out. So you were in the corporate world. And like most of us that have survived the corporate world, we gave it our all, and we ended up with burnout. And I think for you were saying there was depression and anxiety and all of those things that come with burnout, and then the Hashimoto's. So just step me through what life was like in the corporate world and that connection. I'm trying to work out, was it the burnout that causes the Hashimoto's, or was Hashimoto's always waiting in the wings to make an appearance?
It's a very good question, and it's my answer is multi-pronged. So I believe that stress has a large impact a large role to play in the diagnosis, and has a large impact. And I think people don't realise how significant that impact is. The experience that I had was I experienced depression. I couldn't keep up with what was going on at work, and it was a really tough time. I had a lot of voices in my head, self-doubt, which was an indicator to me that something was wrong. So stress played a large part. In addition to that, I believe that there is an element of that body-mind connection. And when we are following our life purpose, things are so much easier. So understanding that the stress plays a part, the way we choose to live our life plays a part, and also the connection of that life purpose and that mind-body connection.
That's interesting. Were you aware of that when everything was falling apart, about the mind-body connection? Because you were in an IT environment, weren't you?
I was in a project space. So yes, engaging with IT people. Was I aware of it at the time? No, I wasn't. What I now know is that our body gives us messages. And every ache, pain, illness, disease is a gift to us to waken us up to what we're here for really to do on this planet.
I can just imagine a few people just squirming in their seats as they watch this and saying all this woo-woo stuff. And as you know, I've got my daughter's a naturopath, so she's always big on this thing, and I kind of think, oh yeah, whatever. But it's really true, isn't it? Like, it's the body is telling us something, and stress is such a precursor for so many illnesses. So, I mean, I'd have to say, if I was working in the IT industry, I would have been stressed out of my brain. If my computer doesn't work, I just about have a meltdown and think, oh God, how am I going to get that going again? And it's just too much effort to have to think about it. So, Kim, that must have been really tough at work, and it must have been really tough on the home side as well, not knowing what was going on for you.
Totally, yeah. I remember my latter years at work, I would go into work every day wanting to do a really great job, really to work hard and really to deliver what I needed to deliver. And each day I would leave feeling like I'd failed. And it was a really awful place to be. And I don't wish that on anyone.
No, and the pressure, particularly when you're in a corporate world, the pressure to perform or just basically get left behind is really great. So what happened then? So that kind of kept going on until you were able to walk away from the corporate world, or did the Hashimoto's come first and then you walked, or did you walk and then, how did that work for you?
So I got the diagnosis, and that for me was to be honest, it was a relief. Because that gave me an understanding that something was really happening, which was causing my stress, or a level of stress, because I was stressed about work, I was stressed about home, and then I was also stressed about my health, because I knew something wasn't going right, something was astray, and I needed to resolve that and find out what was going on. So the diagnosis led me to understand more about what was going on for me. And it was at that point that I started to explore multiple options, multiple roads in to what was happening. And that was where I turned to food as medicine as a first option. So I was given some medication. I chose to take that. And within probably about 6 weeks, I felt a difference. And then the next path for me was understanding the food as medicine. Once I started to get the food under control and understand what nourished me and what depleted me, then I started to move into that mind-body space.
So what were the foods that you found, Kim, that depleted you? What just didn't sing for your body?
So when you have an autoimmune disease, the medical fraternity, describe it as your body attacking itself. Now, I didn't believe that for a minute. One of the things that I've kept coming back to is I cut my finger and it heals automatically. I don't have to think about it. So then to be told my body's attacking itself, it didn't sit well for me. What I then learned was that gluten, dairy, grains, eggs can impact our body's healing ability when we have a condition such as Hashimoto's.
So will you automatically get Hashimoto's if you're in that real spiral, or is there something genetic that will kind of fire it? Like why does two people side by side having in the same job, having the same stress, reacting the same, both have the same health issues, one gets Hashimoto's and one doesn't? Or do they both get, or is it likely to follow, I guess?
So every body, so every physical body is different. So the level of bacteria that we have in our body, and we all have it, the level of pathogens we have in our body are all different. The level of heavy metals that we have in our body, and we all have them, is different. And so the exposure that we've had pre-birth through our mother and her bloodstream, through our existence, has an impact on our wellness. So for example, I might have had a virus that you've not had, and the virus that I've had feeds off the particular pathogens and bacteria that I have in my body, and therefore it grows in that way and has an impact in other areas.
Okay. So how is Hashimoto's diagnosed? Is it a blood test? Is it I don't know, you know me and needles. I'm trying to see whether there's an easy option to check it out. But yeah, is it a needle? Is it a blood test? Or
it is a blood test that can give that indication. There's different levels of tests that you can go through. The doctor will do one is the first option that will give an indication that something's alerting them to that place, and then you'll get additional blood tests through a specialist that will
oh goody, yeah, there's even more.
I know.
Oh
so
wow,
get multiple needles.
Oh gee whiz, like just put me out for 6 months and do what you need to do. Kim, did you go to the doctor with a suspicion you had Hashimoto's, or did you have a really switched on doctor that said, well, let's go down this, she'd seen it before?
Yeah, no, I went to the doctor with, I was, by that stage, I was emotional, and that was unlike me. I was crying pretty much daily, and not like me at all. That was not me. And so there was a number of things. I couldn't concentrate. My memory wasn't serving me so well. I wasn't sleeping very well. So I went in with a number of different symptoms.
Right.
And I couldn't lose weight, and I was doing a lot to try and lose weight. I was experiencing a lot of sadness and a lot of anxiety. From there, the doctor said, okay, let's take some blood tests and see what's happening here.
And is it more prevalent in women over men?
It is more prevalent in women over men, yes.
So there's a hormone connection?
I think the hormone connection is relating to the fact that we beautiful women have just so much of a more complex hormone biochemical function in our body.
Mm-hmm.
I think it comes down to also, there's a number of different things. I think it also comes down to we have high expectations of what we're able to achieve, and we have such the desire to push, to be super mums, to be superhuman, to get everything done. There's no time for stopping, and that adds to our stress. And one of the things I advocate now is slowing down.
So is it more prevalent pre-menopause in women or post-menopause? Is there a cycling somewhere there that happens that you're more likely to get it at a certain age?
I haven't identified whether there is a connection to pre or post menopause.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people getting it in younger age groups now.
Oh, wow.
And the reality is there's more people that have it than are diagnosed.
Yeah. So what's the impact of that if it goes undetected and people don't find out about it? What's likely to happen? Will they just die earlier, or will they just have a pretty awful health?
It's pretty awful health. You just continue on a spiral. If it's not detected and controlled and managed, then your health is just, you don't know. For me, it was, and for others that I've talked with, I didn't know what was going on. I knew something wasn't right, but I didn't know what it was. I was doing all that I thought I should, and my health was just getting worse. So it was just on a downward spiral.
Yeah. So you've listened to your body. You've gone pro-choice about how you've decided to nurture yourself. What was the reaction? And you're now medication free, is that correct?
I am, yes.
How did that go down with the mainstream medical fraternity? I'm not having a go here. I'm just having, let's digest that question. Like, how did that go down?
I took my own path in that regard. And when I recently saw a doctor who I found, after searching for the right type of doctor for me, I found someone in a clinic who is very mind body focused as well.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so in actual fact, when I had told her, we actually celebrated together. It was so exciting. So that was the accomplishment that I reached.
And you've, as I said earlier, about people doing things differently or making a difference in the world, and you're certainly ticking both those boxes, but you've not just left it there. So you're the founder and owner of Wellness, sorry.
Working on Wellness.
Thank you. Working on Wellness. I knew there was something came at the head of that. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
And so you've actually stepped forward now in the terms of saying, well, this is how I dealt with it. And, let me share that. I mean, you always go to the great point of saying to me that, you're not a qualified doctor. So you don't kind of get into that. I guess you're talking about people that are post-diagnosis and saying, just sharing your journey and what worked for you, and then people have that option to step up. Kim, I noticed in your bio that it's around helping women lose weight. Is that because women are more likely to step up and weights are bigger? You know, we're always trying to be skinnier than Twiggy, aren't we? But yeah, I was just curious to know why just women and or just men don't come forward or whatever.
So for me, it was about narrowing down who I can help. And whilst I've chosen women, I have no adversity to working with men. Women with Hashimoto's is a place, it's like a group that I can help because I know that I've taken the journey myself. My vision is far bigger than just working with women and Hashimoto's. And this is a place for me to start and move forward with my business. My vision also includes delivering workplace wellness programs, which enable people to have increased awareness, make informed choices of their own health and wellness. Because at the end of the day, it's our body, it's our life. Let's take our choices in our hands and make us the driver of our life.
I think that's really great. As you know, I'm not a big one for traditional medicine. I tend to go kind of with the alternate medicine, but and looking after my body with exercise and you know, I know that gluten hates me, but I'm just not ready to let that baby go, you know. But I think I will have to at some point because it just hates me. I was reading a book just recently called The Blue Zones, and they were talking about octogenarians and the pockets of those around the world, and it came down. Well, one of the main things was around food and very little meat. Meat was looked at as a celebratory once a year type thing. You know, the glutens weren't there and things like that, and also working right up till basically they could work no longer, and being with family and connectedness. So there's a whole heap of things, but I guess for the current COVID-19 issues that are going on, I have heard repeatedly about people with autoimmune conditions to make sure that they were religious in isolating themselves. If I heard you say earlier about the body attacking itself, so does that still stand? If it's not really an autoimmune gig that's attacking itself, was there any need to be that stringent to keep away, other than what the norm was doing anyway?
So I think, whilst I said the body's not attacking itself, the body is attacking something. There's whether it be a pathogen or a virus in the body, bacteria in the body, excuse me. So it's attacking something. So the immune system is heightened.
Yeah.
It's on full alert, which means it then, in a layman's description, because, you know, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a naturopath. My understanding is that the body is attacking something within the body. So it's either a virus, a pathogen, bacteria. So the immune system is heightened, and therefore it is more susceptible to picking up other viruses. So yes, I've taken extra precautions because it's not worth the risk. My body is compromised, and whilst I'm not on medication, I'm not saying I'm bulletproof. I'm still aware that yes, my results are indicating that my body is functioning a lot better. You will never, for example, Epstein-Barr virus, which is what we know as glandular fever, it lives in the body. Once you've had it, you will always have it. It's about whether it's active or not. And so I will still take precautions to reduce my risk in a situation like this.
And I think that's a fair comment. So I heard you say you're going to be doing some seminars. So what's next for Working on Wellness and Kim Guthrie? Where are your next steps, given that we ever get out of this whole COVID business?
So for me, I will be doing wellness programs. There will be presentations in the beginning, and like any business, there's a path of growth. And I will focus on, for a period of time, women with Hashimoto's, and as that organically grows, I will take on additional clients, more clients in that space. But the big vision, as I said earlier, involves me going back into workplaces to deliver wellness programs that can enable people to make informed choices. So my intention is to try and take into workplaces the lessons that I have learned that have helped me after having been in that space. So I can take my experience in. And so when someone says, yeah, I don't have time to do that, I'm on a project and it's really busy and I'm working 18-hour days, I know what they're talking about. I can really relate to them. So therefore, I can give them some tips that are going to be useful that they can introduce in amongst that time frame that they've got, and certainly give them reasons to reconsider the number of hours that they're working.
I think the world will be very different going forward. I think once, as you know, I've been homeschooling my grandson, and this is the last week. And whilst it's been an absolute privilege, it's the next stage of whatever our new normal's going to look like. So I imagine people will be getting back into the workforce. There's certainly a lot more cars on the road, and I saw people in their masses on a kiddie's playground yesterday afternoon. I thought, okay, there you go. So I don't know, whether we're out of the woods or in the woods or chopping the woods down, or I don't know what we're doing at the moment, but I guess it's about staying healthy. Give me the 3 top tips about keeping me healthy. Not specifically me, but anybody. But give me your top 3 tips. What would they be?
Top 3 tips would be sleep.
Getting
good sleep. If you're not getting good sleep, explore why you're not getting good sleep, and make some changes, make some shifts to get good sleep. Hydration of good, clean water. Meditation. And for those who are certain personality types that like to go and be fired up all the time, that is one of the hardest things to implement. And I was one of those people. And so for me, that was very difficult. Sunshine and movement. So you can combine those two, especially in Queensland. So sunshine and movement and whole foods.
And when we talk about whole foods, we're talking about unprocessed foods. Often people say, what's a whole food? I'll say, well, it's in its natural state as much as possible. It hasn't had the guts ripped out of the, nutrients of it. It's not in a packet, and it's, it's as fresh as can be.
Yes.
And, I always like to kind of throw in that, the source of where your food's coming from. And,
that's ideal. Absolutely. It's not always possible for some people. It's not always easy for some people. And so some of the work that I do, I meet people where they're at, which means organic is ideal. But if you can't get organic, don't not have the broccoli because you can't get organic. The other thing that comes into whole foods is understanding what are the ingredients. When you look at the panel on the ingredients of food that you purchase that's in a packet, what are the ingredients? Do you know what they are? Do you know what those words mean? There are I believe over 40 different names for sugar. So if you choose to say, I'm going sugar-free, and you buy something that's in a packet and it doesn't have the word sugar, it doesn't mean it doesn't have sugar in it. There's multiple different names for sugar.
That's right.
A huge impact in our life. But anyway, there's an app that people can use. It's called Chemical Maze, and you can put ingredients in there, and it'll tell you what it is. You can put numbers in there of ingredients of packet foods. It'll tell you what it is. It's a very good tool that I use.
Great. I've not heard of that before, so that's a really good one. I was in the car the other day, and they were talking about sugar. They were interviewing somebody, and it was a podcast or something, and it's just amazing, the whole sugar. And we've all been there and done that, but it hides in so many things. Like it's lurking at every corner, waiting to grab you by the throat and say, I've got your back. Because they say that sugar is as addictive as what ice is,
Totally. It's actually more addictive than cocaine. And it pairs really well with gluten.
Yeah. They do a happy dance together.
So yeah. So gluten, sugar, dairy, those are some things. Eggs, I would take out.
Yeah. I've done all the nut milks and everything that bore me ratty. I've been there, the rice milk, everything that's not milk. I've recently put myself on to goat's milk, and I don't have much, but in the winter I do like nourishing oats, which probably hate me because they're full of gluten. But anyway, the goat's milk, and I noticed my gut can tolerate it a little bit better, but it's probably still not nice. But it was one of the things I found about the common thing for the octogenarians. Most of them had goat's milk, which I found fascinating. I don't know, it must be easier to raise goats than what it is to raise cows, I suppose. I can run up hills and over dales and do all of that kind of stuff. So, Kim, people can follow you on Working on Wellness with Kim Guthrie on Facebook. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
And how will they find you in the big cyber world?
In the big cyber world, Working on Wellness with Kim Guthrie.
So .com.au or
so workingonwellness.com.au.
Yeah.
And then the Facebook. I am also on Instagram, although less active. I find that one a little bit challenging, but the vision is to get there. So again, that Working on Wellness coaching.
Yeah, all the social media. I could have taught myself a bit more with the lockdown, but my excuse was I was off homeschooling. So I've got the perfect excuse for not being any further advanced than what I was when I started. So it is what it is, But I have been kind of really focused, and I really probably looking forward to getting back into my own wellness routine, I think, and back in my own kitchen and things like that, and taking it all a little bit more seriously. So, hey, Kim, it's just an absolute delight to speak with you and to know a little bit more about Hashimoto's. And stress, the big message I'm taking away is that kind of that stress and not looking after yourself, and it creeps up in the corporate world. We've both been there and done that in the corporate world, and I would never. Somebody asked me the other day, would you go back? And I said, well, first of all, you'd have to get asked back. And I said, and then when they did ask me, I'd say probably no, because I like being a bit more in control of how I live my life. So we look forward to your seminars. When are they likely? Are they going to be open to the public or just corporate, Kim?
No, they will be open to the public when they come out. Yeah.
And you're based
the details will be on the Facebook page. I think
you're in Brisbane, but we've all learned, if we didn't know it before, we certainly know it since COVID lockdown, is that we can do heaps of stuff.
Absolutely.
Technology.
Yeah. We're blessed with this technology. Totally.
So do you have to see? Yeah, sorry.
I do all of my coaching online.
Okay, right.
Using the Zoom platform, and it works really well. People get to be in the comfort of their own home.
Yes.
They don't need to go anywhere. It's just so much easier. And yes, dealing with clients all over the world then makes it so much more.
Yeah. So do you have a Hashimoto's secret Facebook group or?
I don't at this stage. No.
Is that something you're thinking about?
It is something I'm thinking about. For me, I would need to. A lot of the Facebook groups for Hashimoto's, in my opinion, keep people stuck in their stories, which keeps them in their illness or disease.
Okay.
And so the vision for me when I create one is about creating that space of lifting you out of your story, because there's always, and this goes into the other component, there's benefits and drawbacks of any illness and disease, and we often don't see them. So, but that's a topic for another day. But that's something that I would focus the group on, is helping people lift out of their stories, lift out of anything that's keeping them stuck. We can heal. There is hope. It's just about getting us the right environment to heal.
I think one of the biggest things that I've seen come out of the lockdown with COVID-19, other than the ridiculous hoarding of toilet paper
and pasta.
pasta. So you can't buy. It's just bizarre trying to. I was looking for something yesterday and couldn't find it. And I thought, oh, you've got to be joking me. But people are kind of going back to. They're finding that going back to base and cooking. There might be a lot of weight issues after this, so you might get a bit of business tip. But people going back to growing the vegetables.
Yes.
And things like that. And I thought, well, hallelujah, I think people are realising just how reliant we are on overseas things. And there's certainly a little bit of a political stuff going on at the moment about buying from overseas. But, let's buy local and let's buy good, nourishing food that hasn't been sitting around and packaged and whatever. Hey, Kim, nice to talk to you.
Thanks so much.
I'll catch up with you soon. And for everybody else, thank you for listening. I hope you've found some value in what Kim has had to share. I'm sure you have. As I said, you can follow Kim on Facebook on Working on Wellness with Kim Guthrie. You can make a contact with her through there. So, Kim, thanks so much. I'll chat to everybody. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye for now.
Wonderful. Thank you.